Hi everyone, how are you? Happy Saturday, happy weekend. I hope you all are doing really well. As you can see, I feel so much better today. My goodness, yesterday was so tiring day. I just couldn't believe it. And afterwards, I really had to bike another round in another place, also far, and I really had to do. I was like, oh my god, it was just also so hot. And finally, when I came back, I was like, oh my god, it's just so tired. I barely could move, but I'm so happy that also I did a lot of things with my plants. I replanted, and now they are in front of me. I'm so happy to see that there. I did a lot of like planting stuff yesterday, so yeah, it is so interesting because I want to say, I think, two things. One is that I see more and more people when they actually been in such a difficult relationships, and when they get divorced, and you can really see and feel and hear how much happier and better they are as they used to be. It is just so mind-blowing to me. And I remember, I keep saying this in all of my videos. I kept saying that, if you are in a relationship, in a bad relationship that doesn't serve you, it's drives you more and more into stress and physical health, because stress will lead to a lot of physical health consequences, right? And so if you really feel like you are in such a terrible situation, and regardless if there are children involved, you need to get out of there. I mean, you really need to. And I'm really seeing that only that the people are so much more happier. But listen, as I keep saying, your children will be so much more happier because you are happy, right? Individually, separately, happy. Because what's the point of being together and are in such a horrible relationship, constantly fighting, and that will only bring horrible things and trauma to the child or the children. And so, number one, you only have one life to live, right? So what's the point? Like, what? Think about yourself. Even as I said, write today in the journal with me, right? When you journal with me, write in the journal and say, why am I stuck in this? Why do I do this to myself? Why? Like, is it money? Is it I will lose money? Is it I will lose my status in the world? Is it what people think about me? Is it like I feel like I failed? Like, what is it? Think about that. Think about what, or maybe there's something in your childhood trauma or something in your childhood. I want to throw these stuff around like everybody else, like, childhood trauma. Whatever it is, if there's something from your past, right, that you really feel like you are constantly stuck in such unhealthy situations, relationships or partnerships, work too, right? There can be so much abuse with colleagues, and I'm a world champion of that. And so that, or bosses, another world champion, right? And so if you are really stuck in those kind of horribly toxic and unhealthy places, situations, relationships, then you need to ask yourself, what is it that caused me to stuck in this? Is it again something that I experienced in the past. Really, I mean, that's why I'm saying writing it out loud down and see it on black and white really helps you to face yourself. And I keep saying this in all my videos, face yourself. Don't be afraid to face yourself, because if you cannot face yourself, you cannot heal and grow. And that's the point in life, right? So ask yourself that, what hinders me, or what was it that maybe you remember one event that happened really early on that really kind of led to you to be in those kind of situations or relationships or partnerships. And then, or during your life, to think about, maybe it's your money. Maybe you think, oh my god, if I would get divorced, I will have to pay, if you're male, right, I have to pay her. And I remember that there was I don't want to say friend, but acquaintances, I never can pronounce that word. We would do a lot of like water sports together. And so he was a little bit an older man, and so he was so suffering under that. Then he got divorced, that his children, that the law gave the children to the mother. And so, and I don't remember, was it that he doesn't have access to them or something, but he was an activist and fighter again to fight the law that hinders that the father has less access or no access. I'm not sure, so it's not no access, but I think it was a less access or something. So even though the women wouldn't deserve it or something, so just because it's the mother, something like that. So I remember that, I never forget, he was such an active fighter against it. He was constantly talking about it, that how horrible he feels that the law is hindering him to be much more closer to his children. It is just so wild. So that's why I'm saying that, not just because the law says that, it doesn't mean it's sometimes right. In my opinion, every situation is different. And so even sometimes the mother is like cuckoo, they will get the children just because they are the mother. I think it's also, for me, it's also ridiculous. I think it's important who is, I think, healthier, right? So I don't know. So I'm not a lawyer, so I'm just saying what I'm seeing and what I'm thinking about this topic. So I believe that, and I keep saying this in my videos, I believe that males get so many mistreatment, in my opinion, unfair treatment, and I also, as I keep saying this in my videos, oftentimes, not oftentimes, but a good amount of time, I'm really with males on certain topics, because the society, yes, I mean, they're always like this male power and all that, and the women are suppressed kind of thing. That's also the fact, but at the same time, there's so much pressure on males in this society, right? The male has to have a status, the male has to have money, the male has to have a car, a house, and this and that, a career. I mean, the same thing, of course, the women would say too, yeah, I have to be a mother, I have to be, I don't know, good in my career, I have to be, a provider, I have to take care of my family, I have to do this and that and that. But at the same time, the same thing I think applies for the male too, right? They have a lot of societal pressure too. And what are we seeing now? More and more mental health problems, because there's so much societal pressure on guys. Like, I cannot emphasize this enough. I think it's extremely unfair. But as you know, also I talk a lot about in my videos as to how emotionally also males are abused, right? So males also get, I know, as I, if you remember in my past videos, I talked about how many wonderful, beautiful, really good-hearted people, I mean males, I know around me, close friends and relatives and friends, good friends, like really, really amazing, wonderful males, but they get abused by toxic females. I have seen this a lot, like a lot. And so that's why in my, as you remember, like in 3 years of videos, I keep talking about this oftentimes in such manners. I support the guy, because there are, yes, they are toxic and narcissistic. Again, I don't want to throw around this kind of wordings, terminologies, like as everybody's narcissist, not like that, but I've seen that too, like a pathologic narcissist and a true narcissistic person with narcissistic personality disorder, like literally textbook narcissist, male and females. I've seen those. And the female, I mean, and those, it doesn't matter, and I have a video about that. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, the characteristics are 100% the same. So they're using charm, they're using, to get the women, to get the guy. Is just what I've seen this really like in front of my eyes, and over the years, it's just so wild. And just that's why, because I've seen all of this, I doing these videos, because I know it firsthand. So and not only that, I have experienced, not from relationship side, but most from the career side, as I mentioned before. So again, there's so much toxicity for male, and both male and female, and there's somehow in this psychological YouTube world that somehow the guys, and also on media, right, when all this murder cases and stuff like that, there's always this toxic guy and always this narcissistic guy, and guys are always this horrible people. No, yes, they are toxic or horrible, whatever, but they're also toxic, horrible women too. And so, and you have to be really open-minded, and like really like open your eyes and see what it is. And you just cannot just separate the two. Just one is like, oh, up here, like this, angel-like figure, and the other one is like the evil, like, no. And both sides are terrible, and both sides are wonderful. And I can attest that, seriously. And so that's why I'm saying, coming back to the divorce part, right? If you really feel like you stuck in that, coming back again, find out what hinders you. Is that the event that happened way back in the past, or is that your money, your status, your career, what people think about you, how you look towards others, right? It really does not matter. What matters is, one, you have only one single life. One. Think about, do you want to spend the rest of your life in a horrible disrespectful, toxic, negative, constantly fighting, stressful, unhealthy relationship or situations or matters, or you finally decide, I will take care of me. Remember, I just remembered it's the North Node in Aries right now for the next 1.5 years. This means I, me, right? I am. And look at all of my I am affirmations cards, 78 decks that I created for you. They're in English, German, and Turkish. Just definitely check those out. And so when you look at them and see, do you recognize yourself, right? If you really feel like you can't recognize yourself anymore, then it's time to go and move on and just go on with your life. That's what the time is saying to you. Your body will tell you. As I keep saying this in all my videos, listen to your body. Your body will say to you everything. Your body will tell you if you have some, stressful events in your head, mind, right? Is your mind full? Your body will say, like, finally, it affected your body. Your mind will say so many things. And listen to it, and you can separate and be happy finally and get healthier. And I am really seeing this with that, as I mentioned, the good guys that I know more and more. And I also kept saying to them, I'm really sorry, but I just I can't just hold it inside, but I really have to say, I'm really sorry to say, but I'm happy for you. Like, I really am happy, because I experienced their suffering, and nobody should suffer. Nobody. I feel horrible for these good guys, these good people really suffering. And so it's the same for women too. If you stuck in a horrible toxic relationships, you have to get out of there. And so then you can really see that the child is happy, the children are happy, you are happy, your divorced wife or husbands are happy. It's just so, why we are keep suffering it. This is the society that really builds on suffering, and we shouldn't play into that. Okay, so screw what the society says, what the society thinks, what other think. Who cares? You only have one single life. Do you want to spend the rest of your life what other thinks about you, what other think about you, what other people say about you, what you think they might think about you, what you think they might say about you? And maybe they do say things about you. Oh my God, of course they do. But who cares? Like, who actually cares? And so be strong, and that's the whole point of my videos, right? Be strong, be yourself, just stay true to yourself. See all of my merchandise down below. Stay true to yourself, be yourself, and it's fine. It's all fine. At the end of the day, it's your health, and your health first. Your health, and Aries and North Node, right? You first. When you fly in an airplane, the oxygen mask is for first you, and then your children, then the people next to you, right? That's what it is. Because if you also do, for example, first aid to somebody, a CPA or so, and you just really have to take care of yourself first, right? You cannot just dive into and just like do like in the bloody, I don't know, in the situation where you can get probably virus from mouth to mouth breathing, right? You just like have to take care of you, put your gloves on, and those are the rules, right? And also, if you have ever done self-defense or martial arts or stuff like that, the first thing a martial arts teacher will tell you is, or in self-defense, when you are in a situation that, you know, you can be Bruce Lee, but if somebody attacks you, you're not diving in even though you are Bruce Lee. The first thing you need to do is run away. Run away. Even though you are Bruce Lee, you need to run away. That's your first thing you need to do. And again, it's first protecting yourself. And you don't care at that moment that everybody would say, oh my God, you're this Bruce Lee. How come you just run away? Like, what? You know, you can't guarantee anything, right? So think about those things when you think about your life, okay? So think about these examples, come back and watch it, okay? So the second thing I want to mention is be very, very careful of, and I'm seeing this more and more, and I'm fighting against that very, very severely, is that, you know, it's a fact that so many misdiagnoses happen in the medical field. There are so many misdiagnoses. And so you need, that's why I'm doing not only here, you know, trying to educate and make you aware of things and, you know, empower you so that you can be a knowledgeable, right? A knowledgeable patient, a knowledgeable person in this world. So that, because as I said, I, you know, keep saying knowledge is power. And we do this also in our cancer nonprofit, empowering, educating cancer patients so that they can be knowledgeable about their disease, and then they can decide what they want to do together with the medical team and with us together. But for you as an individual, it is absolutely important that you, in the doctor's office, when the doctor, and especially if you go to a specialist, because for the last 2 years, and as I keep saying, I will either write a book about it or create courses or both, because what I've been experiencing in the medical field as an individual, but also as a scientist, being able to connect the dots in certain areas in your body, right, in the symptoms, then I've seen and fight against a lot about how especially the specialist wants to desperately put a diagnosis on you. It is just wild, and that is not going less. It's getting more, in my opinion. I cannot believe, like, for example, if all your tests are negative and you still have symptoms, and they are trying to, you know, put that diagnosis on you and that diagnosis on you, and they want to put you on that medication and that medication. And if you are not really, and I keep saying this for, I don't know, more than a decade, if you are, and that's why I created all these programs, I launched all these programs also in our cancer nonprofit. If you are not really awake, if you are really like really your brain is not like really open, you miss those kind of like sneaky, and I'm sorry if you are an MD, that's the fact, and I stand by it. And if you literally are not awake and not aware, then you can really being sucked into some medical diagnosis that's absolutely not applying to you. And I have an insect trying hit on my window. This is another sign from the universe. Yes, girl, you go. Absolutely, I agree with you. What a big insect that was. What was it? It was the size of a bumblebee, but I think it was harder than a bumblebee because it was like hitting plonk, on my window and trying to almost get in or something, not sure. Anyway, so confirmation from the universe. So be very, very cautious. So it is so interesting that they are really trying to sneakily push you into like a corner, or almost like corner you in with asking these questions and these questionnaires, right? Even though you fill the questionnaires, they keep asking you, and even you're saying no, right? They're just like, but this, but that, how about this, how about that? You're like, no, 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 no means no. And please stick to that. No means no. If it's also in your doctor's office, if you say, for example, did this happen or this happen? You say nothing happened. And you're like, but are you sure like this happened? You're like, no. But how about this happened? You're like, no. You know what I mean? Like, be very, very cautious. And this looks pretty similar, right? But you say no to both. But they're still saying, but what about this? You're like, no. But because it's so similar, it's like, what about this? You're like, no. And oh my God, the insect came back. I'm on the right path. God, that's awesome. So it's pretty similar, and you can be easily tricked. Oh, like, wait, this looks pretty similar, right? No. You have to be awake and knowledgeable, and you need to understand what the purpose of these questions are. Because, for example, if you say, first no, and then you say, yes, yeah, maybe this, they're like, aha. This is what it is. You have this. And the insect is back. Like, what is it? It really like comes to my window. Do you want to come in? Like, you're such a gigantic insect. Why are you here? I've never seen anything like this. So, do you understand what I'm saying? It's just sit really, really, you have to be very cautious. And I understand you are not a scientist. And again, that's why there's so many diagnoses. There are so many mistreatments, right? Overtreatment. How many in the news, right? How many people overtreated, misdiagnosed patients, so now they actually committed suicide because of the consequences of the medication. So you have to be very cautious. That's why I'm trying to make you aware, make you awake, and even share with you these knowledge, this information, so that you can be very, very aware, and is all the point. Heal yourself, be careful, be true to yourself, be yourself, and be healthy, right? Mentally and physically, especially, and here's my point, especially also in now more and more in the mental health field. Be very cautious. Listen, if you so let me start here. Some medications, even though they have been created for one treatment, for one symptoms or disease or anything like that, right? If it's created for one single or two single purposes, say for example, it's a heart pill, whatever, for heart health, or for hypertension, or for GI, like gastroenterology, right? Or if it's for, I don't know, muscle aches or something. Sometimes they have done further and further research, and they found, wait a minute, this is also good for, I don't know, mental health, like for reducing stress. reducing, weight loss. Now there's like a, do you follow the news? There's some drug now, they have been found that the weight loss pill is now good for something else or so. So sometimes these kind of medications are also being found, for example, in mental health, in, as I said, in stress reduction, in, I don't know, weight loss or depression or anxiety or stuff like that, right? So you may very well be in this group where your doctor, your heart doctor, your, I don't know, GI doctor, or your physical therapist, not physical therapist, but your, orthopedic, I don't know, surgeon, will prescribe you this type of medication. But then it's just for this use, or it can be vice versa. Maybe those medications can be good for muscle relaxation or for, I don't know, heart, lowering heart rate. It can be in vice versa too. So you can be in either side, but if you on this medical, like in physical health part where your doctor prescribed this to you for your symptoms, if you later on go into whatever mental health, or I don't know, neurology or mental health, like psychiatry or any, or even not even psychiatry, but kind of, I don't know, behavioral health or so, they can be tricking you into, wait a minute, you took these drugs, or these medications, this can be very well be, do you have this? Do you have depression? Do you have anxiety? Do you have like these mental health, points? And if you have been never diagnosed with anything like this, you must be very careful. You must emphasize that, no, this was for my, I don't know, heart rate problems, or I don't know, gastroenterology problems, or my shoulder, whatever pain. You need to push that. Please, you need to emphasize again, push it again, push it again, push it again. Because once you say, as I said, this or this or this, and once you got tricked into it, then you're like, okay, you are depressed. Okay, that's it. You are and have anxiety. You have this. You have obesity. You have this. You have that. No. And then they start to, okay, now we have to prescribe you whatever mental health, psychiatric medications. What? And then this is how more and more people get sick from nothing. How many times I'm seeing that, and not only have seen this in my, for a cancer patient, but for the last 2 years, what I've been seeing in the medical field is just, I mean, not only for my cancer patients for the last 10 years, not that, just for myself, what I'm seeing is just unbelievable. Not only that, number one, the specialist cannot connect the dots between this specialty and this specialty and the connection. So I have to say, there's this research, what about we do this test and see what happens? And like, oh yeah, okay, let's do that. Like, what? Like, didn't you study physiology? Didn't you study genetics? Didn't you study, I don't know, these, neurology and gastroenterology and pathology and these and that? Didn't you study all of this? You're an MD, not me. And then the MDs, of course, say, oh, just a PhD. am the one who can connect the dots and present it to you. So please look into that. Even there's a study for that, right? And they're like, oh yeah, you're right, let's do that. Why would I say that? I'm not an MD. I mean, if you think of everybody's now a psychologist, I could be like a MD too, because I literally helped myself. And not with, things that they have said. I researched it and I said, I'm gonna do this, okay? And they're like, okay, we cannot say anything. You can just do whatever, like, I'm doing it. And then I, take whatever I found. And then they said, oh yeah, those are good. I'm like, what? Why wouldn't you say that to me then? And you see that I've been suffering, for the last 2 years. Like, what? So it's crazy. That's one thing. And the other thing is they are trying to squeeze you into some diagnosis that it doesn't apply to you at all. Like, at all. There's no scientific evidence in anything they are looking at for anything. But with these questions, they're trying to sneak you into a diagnosis. So be very, very cautious. I can't make this stuff up. It's just mind blown. As I said, if you say no, do you have this? No. Do you have this? No. But what about this? I just said no. But what about this? I just said no. So please be very awake. And unfortunately, the society in many, many cultures, unfortunately, have been so manipulated that these doctors, and I don't like to say the word doctor, they are physicians, because I'm a doctor too. I'm a PhD, and they don't accept us to be called doctors. I am a doctor too, okay? So they are physicians and I'm a PhD. So if you are in these situations, you must stand up for yourself and say these diagnosis, like no is a no, okay? Just these, I was just gonna say that I got distracted. There's this society in this world, in many, many cultures, that somehow these physicians, that's what they're called, physicians, are these kind of like, I give myself to them and do whatever you want with me. Like, no way in hell. Because they don't know what they're doing. Not everyone, of course, but the majority, especially now. And for me, I always I'm the fighter in the doctor's office and they hate me. If they understand that. And then when I get it deeper into that I'm a scientist and blah blah, and I was a faculty, this and that, and they're like, oh, okay. So then they're just, and when you really show that you're like, no, because of this, and no, because of that, then they're like, then they can't do things. And in the past, they would, hated me and would fight me back, but now I do it in a different way, but I stay on that point and never back down. And I hear them and I say mine, and when they keep kind of pushing, and I say, wait, no, here, because this and this and this happened, and then that happened. Not because what you said that happened. No, this and then this, something like that. So it's, you need to be very, very, very aware and cautious. And again, knowledge is power. Never forget that. The more knowledge you have, the less people can do tricks on you. And if this is something with your health, stop right there. That's your entire prosperity right there. Nothing counts but your health, right? It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire. If you don't have health, that means nothing. So your number one asset is your health. Never, ever, ever forget that, okay? And especially in the mental health field, more and more, they're trying to, again, be cautious. There are very good ones too, but if they keep kind of pushing you and trying to corner you in one direction, be very, very cautious and get out of there as soon as you can. Find another person, another physician, okay? Those are dangerous, very, very dangerous. And I'm so happy that I made this video right now, right here. So with that being said, let me know if you have any comments on this and if you want me to expand on that. But so many crazy things are happening in the medical field, and especially with physicians. And I need you to be very, very aware, and also I need you to be knowledgeable. Again, I keep saying it, knowledge is power. Yeah. Okay, so let's go into our journaling, and I feel good. So let's do like a 10-minute or so journaling together, and grab your pen and paper. And these are my Royal Journal collections. And please, you can, if you don't have a journal, grab another journal, or just the paper, and let's write it together, okay? You can write your feelings, your thoughts, or maybe do the exercises and the path, like what I did what I said in the beginning. Just think about why you are in these situations. Why are you in these negative, toxic, horrible situations that you constantly find yourself in? And let's maybe today write down, of course you can write whatever you want. You can write a chapter of your next book, but if this would help you, if you need guidance, maybe write today. Why are you in these type of relationships, or in these type of work environments or other environments that doesn't serve you? Okay, so I'm putting down the camera, don't be surprised, and so let's get started. Before I do that, I need this right now. Just relax a little bit. Oh, so good. Okay. This felt so good. This felt so good. Let me know, how do you feel, or how do you felt after writing this? I felt so good, and I hope you did too, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please don't forget to give me a big like. It helps support my channel, and also so that I can bring you so much more of these videos. Subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you can be informed whenever I publish a new video. And yeah, and there are many more videos to come. And comment down below, let me know what you're made of this video, and what are your thoughts, and what are your experiences. If you want to share them with me, I would love to hear from you. And thank you for all of the supporters who have been purchasing my extended videos on my online store, my jewelry as well, and my journals as well. So appreciate that, and also giving me super thanks for supporting my channel and my word, my truth, me speaking the truth and the knowledge, and helping you to be empowered. Okay, so I wish you a wonderful rest of your Saturday, and I will see you tomorrow for the weekly empowerment and healing messages for the week, as well as my journaling. And again, it's already published, the timing, so it will be 10 a.m. Eastern time. So I can't wait to have you with me. See you tomorrow, and enjoy, and don't forget your sunscreen. Okay, bye.